5-year-old Daniel Dana did not die in a tragic car fire. His death was not an accident, it was murder.
At what point did your investigation take a turn down the homicide path?
The very second we were informed from the chief medical examiner's office that they were going to call it a homicide.
At that point, everything changes.
Everything changed.
The medical examiner says the little boy was dead before the first flame. Toxicology reports show he was poisoned, given a fatal dose of diphenhydramine, a common ingredient found in adult over-the-counter medications.
Talk to me about this medicine specifically.
What's interesting is diphenhydramine is not a drug that you find in average children's medicine. You really only find it in Benadryl. But that's not medicine that you give to a child to bring down a fever or for a cold or anything like that. It's medicine you would give to a child for allergies, poison ivy, a rash, none of which he had.
And the amount of diphenhydramine found in little Daniel's body? Horrifying.
He had 2.5 times in his blood what would kill an adult.
Daniel's mom, Narges Shafeirad, tells detectives the fatal overdose was also an accident, claiming she unknowingly gave her son too much medicine for his cold, then panicked when he stopped breathing.
She gave her son, Daniel, at least a bottle of liquid, maybe more.
An accidental overdose? Not likely, but nobody wants to believe a mother would kill her own 5-year-old son. Then police uncover this text message Narges sent to Daniel's father months earlier. It explains in detail the proper dosage of medicine to give Daniel for a cold.
She would text him, make sure to give 2.5 milliliters of this cough medicine. And so it wasn't as if she was clueless. She knew the exact amounts like any good parent should.
And the most heartbreaking news out of the Montgomery County Coroner's Office, this sweet little boy actually tried to fight for his life against his own mother.
He had injuries to his eyelid, to his cheek, to his face, to parts of his face, because physically the medicine was forced down his throat.
What's really horrifying in this case is that there are injuries that are fresh, that the medical examiner said shows no signs of healing, which means that they most likely occurred right around the time of his death.
She was jamming it down to his mouth.
Yes, to making him take it.
Prosecutor Steve Chaikin says Daniel's brutal murder and cover-up was staged by the one person he trusted to love and protect him.
She planned it, she executed it, and instead of calling 911, she went and poured gasoline on it.
Detectives believe Daniel most likely suffered for hours while his mother drove around, force-feeding him medicine and waiting for him to die.
At the exact moment when she needed to be a mother, she made a decision to go get gasoline to burn her son in the car to make it look like an accident.
Once Daniel was dead, cops believe Narges then stuffed his little lifeless body in the back seat of this car, doused him with gasoline, and set him on fire.
He couldn't even defend himself.
What did he do that was so bad?
So terrible and so bad that he had to be murdered and then stuffed in a car.
And set on fire.
This was an attempt to cover up a brutal murder of her own child and make it look like an accident. He burned to death, woe is me, and to gain pity and sorrow because she was the victim in the case.
Prosecutors believe Daniel's death was a cruel case of revenge. Narges was trying to get back at her estranged husband, Hamid Dana, for divorcing her and trying to take Daniel away.
Father wanted custody more than anything. Mother stopped that from happening because she killed him. Father will never get custody.
Court records show Narges sent Hamid this haunting text message just days before Daniel's death, saying simply, "I will make you cry. You will be sorry."
They were using Daniel as a pawn, and in this war of divorce, the spoils of the war was murdered.
Instead of dragging everyone through a trial, the mother in this case actually pled guilty to her charges, and Crime Watch Daily was inside the courtroom on the day of sentencing.
Cameras were banned, but what I witnessed was raw and emotional.
You were fighting hard today for the maximum sentencing.
Yes.
Because you believe this was premeditated. You believe that this was no accident of any sort.
Absolutely. It was an extremely premeditated and determined murder.
Narges Shafeirad begged for mercy, telling the judge she was a broken woman. The prosecution believes it was a desperate act for a lighter sentence.
I actually looked over at her at one point, and she was doodling, drawing pictures in her notebook.
Daniel's father so heartbroken he tried to speak but couldn't, instead releasing this written statement. Daniel didn't pass in an accident. He passed because this woman wanted to get back at me and seek revenge for divorcing her. No human should do this to their own child. No parent should have to bury their child. Then Circuit Judge Nelson Rupp delivers his sentence.
Judge Nelson Rupp of the Circuit Court for Montgomery County gave Ms. Shafeirad, who was the mother of Daniel, a sentence of life suspended all but 50 years.
Did the judge get it right today?
I think justice won today, and that is always something great to take home with you.
But firefighters want Daniel's father to take something else home with him.
The one thing that I hope Daniel's father realizes is that the fire isn't what killed Daniel. And at some point in time, I hope that he's able to at least understand that his son is now in a better place, and at some point they will meet again.